One thing I've been doing on my drive home is listening to books. I've mentioned this before already in another segment, but when I became aware of something as I'm driving along and listening to books, and I don't know if this is a singular experience or if other people have this experience as well. But it seems to me at times it's very difficult to connect with what I'm hearing. I can hear the person reading, I hear their voice, but it's like the words, I'm just having a hard time following, or maybe you don't know. I don't know if you have that experience. It just sounds like someone talking, but you know that they're reading. There's a certain phenomenon that happens when our eyes cross the page and you interact with words. You can speed up or you can slow down. You can go back and read things you've read before. You can write in your book. You can mark the margins. You can argue with the author. You can converse with the author. When you're listening to an audiobook, I guess for lack of a better illustration, it's almost like pouring a glass of water over your head. It just washes over you. The words just wash over you, and at least in my experience, it's difficult to find a place for them to stick. My brain kind of wants to back up and say, hey, wait a minute, what about such and such, or what does that mean, or to spend a moment trying to flesh out what's happening, And of course, it has a lot to do with the narrator. I had one book that I've mentioned, LibriVox, a free program where volunteers read, and bless his heart, as much as he's read, one poor narrator sounded very much like William Shatner in terms of his delivery. It just all the pitches were in the wrong place, and it was very difficult to listen to. But kudos to him for trying. Kudos to him for reading out loud. At least he's done something. He articulated well. It was just difficult to follow because I got hung up in listening to him talk. I can't even begin to even imitate the way he read. But regardless, I just wonder if anybody else has that experience of the words just washing over and not really connecting, and you just sort of mentally clock out. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that the brain goes to another place. It's not exactly like you go chasing other thoughts. You're listening to the words, but you're not listening to the words. It almost reminds me of Seneca's letter to his friend Lucilius. I think it was the second letter in the collection on discursiveness in reading, about you shouldn't read so widely and so varied. You should only just read a few things, is what he basically says. And once you finish reading everything that you have, go back and read it again. There's no need to keep on your shelves books that you'll never read, or an accumulation. I don't know. I agree with Seneca, but I disagree with Seneca. Before I close, I guess one other thing that I would like to say is, yes, you can't obviously hold a book and read while you drive. No, shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't be texting and driving. I guess that gives it a whole other dimension, doesn't it? Maybe you shouldn't even be making videos of driving. regardless, one experience I had a number of years ago when the kids were small, I can't even think of how small exactly, but I don't know, I think our youngest daughter may have been 3 or 4, which means the other ones may have been 10, 12, something like that. I would read out loud to them, and I really enjoy reading out loud. There was one book that I read to them, and anybody watching this would think, oh my God, you're crazy. Okay, yeah, I'm crazy, I admit that. But I read Moby Dick by Herman Melville, and it moved me. That book really moved me, and I know that it's one that I do intend to revisit. But for some reason, I thought, as being accustomed to reading them bedtime stories, that I would read Moby Dick out loud to them as a bedtime story. A few chapters, just a few pages at a time. It's a big book, and I think we read most of it. But one thing I discovered was that the book took on an entirely different nuance. The story took on an entirely different feel by reading it out loud. And I think that's something I like to do. That might be something that you would like to try. I know there are people out there who do read out loud, perhaps even to kids, to children. Maybe if you find yourself alone and you're reading a book, try reading out loud. I know that there are other things that happen mentally when we do read out loud, but the story takes on a whole different flavor. I remember that some passages in Melville were downright hilarious, and as I was reading them, especially in the early parts when Ishmael and Queequeg meet for the very first time, reading it out loud, it was hilarious, and I remember it was very difficult for me to keep from laughing. I don't know if there was something the author intended or not, but anyway, things I think about when I drive, huh? Anyway, if you're going through something, it'll pass. And I say that to myself more to anyone who might be watching this. Maybe it's just another one of those instances where I need to hear myself speak a truth. Going through some stuff, but it'll pass in one way or another. In one way or another, whatever it is you're going through, you'll find yourself on the other side of it. So, until next time, be blessed, and may fortune smile upon you, and always do what's right. Always do what's good. And listen to those friends and those family members in your life who keep you pointed to what is right. So until next time, bye-bye.